Hi, my name is Carly Bell, and today I am going to be showing you a tutorial on how to embroider a backpack on my Ricoma EM1010. So I have these really glittery backpacks that I got for my girls to use as dancing bags, and I'm just going to be embroidering their name across the top here, and I'm going to be using my Durkee Easy Frames, or you can use the 8-in-1 device from Ricoma to easily hoop this and stitch it on the machine. So we're going to go over how to do that today. The main supplies that you are going to need for this project is I am using my Durkee Easy Frame adapter for my Ricoma EM1010, and I'm using the 5x7 frame on it. Just as a warning, this frame adapter works really nicely on the Ricoma. However, not all of the easy frames will work on your Ricoma, specifically those that come out 8 inches. You can't stitch on them down to the 8-inch mark. You probably can only stitch about 7 inches. So keep that in mind. Make sure you always trace, and we'll go over that in a minute. So here is the easy frame, and I have that. I'm also using some sticky tearaway stabilizer that is going to make hooping this so much easier. Then to placement on my bag, and because my bag is black, I have like a white chalk marker, chalk pencil. I'm using a 5x7 grid from another hoop that I have to figure out exactly where I want to put the name. And then I have a couple of rulers to help me draw some crosshairs. So that is basically all you need besides your thread. This is a really easy project, but the thing that might intimidate you is hooping something awkward like a bag. So I'm gonna put my bag here. I'm sorry, the coloring might look a little crazy on the camera there, but I want to stitch their name here on this pocket, and I can use my grid to kind of, what I'm doing basically is I'm measuring right in between these two seams, which is about 4.5 inches. So that's where my center should be. And then between here, I have about 5 inches, so 2.5. So you don't necessarily need the grid if that is if you don't have one, or if it's too hard for you to see. But just draw yourself some crosshairs so you can figure out right where you want your needle to drop for this design. So once you have that, then it's the hooping. So I'm gonna put this aside and grab my frame. I'm gonna go ahead and take it off here. Now grab some sticky stabilizer. See, I have some I already cut. So I just put my hoop on it, whichever looks the best, like on top, and just take a rotary blade, and let me turn this because I'm not going the way I want it to go. Okay. And just cut. Just kind of do that. All right, let's save that for something else. I have my frame, and I'm going to turn it over and take my sticky stabilizer and peel the backing away. Like this. Okay. So with the sticky stabilizer, what I like to do is first kind of stick it in the middle at the top and hold my thumb there, and then pull the bottom and stick it, and then take the side and pull, stick, pull, stick, and then I'll do those corners last. So you want to get the stabilizer to be as tight as possible, and then go and rub those edges so that it's nice and tight, and it will be, you'll hear it kind of sounds like a drum. And then once you're done with that, you can use a ruler and draw either with a pen. I have this is my fabric marker I always use, and draw some crosshairs on your stabilizer. And this is going to help you pinpoint right where you want to lay your bag so that you line it up in the right spot. Okay, so done with the rulers. And here is my bag. I have my white crosshairs here. I'm gonna unzip this one, and I am sticking the stabilizer right inside the pocket. And I am looking at my crosshairs, and I'm going to try and stick it right on the crosshairs that I drew on my stabilizer. And the stabilizer is sticky. It is rather sticky, but you can pull it up if you didn't get it in the right spot. I'm also looking at the little notches in my frame and see that the lines are lining up on there nicely. And so I just want to push my backpack down on that sticky stabilizer. And I have these little clips. I have these, and then I also have these. I don't remember where these came from. These I got from the Dollar Tree. It came like in an 8-pack. But you can find some kind of clips, and you want to clip your bag to your frame like this. See? Because your sticky stabilizer is there and it's holding it to actually hold the bag, the rest of the bag. Okay, so that is right where we want it. Now we take the adapter, slide that in there, and tighten it until it is tight as it can go. Now I am ready to go. There's nothing else I need to do but put my bag onto the machine. So let's go over to the machine now. Okay, so here is my Ricoma EM1010 10 needle embroidery machine. I love her to death. Her name is Roxy, and she is awesome. Now, what makes this machine so great is two main reasons. Especially from me starting with working on a small flatbed embroidery machine, is we have what's called a free arm, and this allows you to hoop really hard things like bags that would normally be a pain in the butt to do on a flatbed machine. Secondly, it has 10 needles. So that means that you can load 10 different thread colors on this machine. And if you have a design with multiple colors, the machine will automatically switch needles, therefore thread colors, while it's stitching. So all of that makes it really, really nice. But today's project is the free arm that is helping. So I am going to, first I need to adjust my frame. So right now this is the frame holder. So I'm gonna put my bag down. And when you are working with different hoops and different accessories for your machine, you may need to move this around. So the easy way to do it is you just need a Phillips screwdriver and a little Allen wrench, and all this comes in your toolkit with your machine. I'm gonna step over here and just little tiny bit loosen one screw in this little bolt, and that's it. And then when I do that, I think it needs to be open all the way. Let me check. So, and we want the free arm to go here. That's where we want it to go. So you can see like right in there. So I want to make sure the rest of the bag is going underneath. and I slide in one, and I slide in the other. And there's kind of two, there's another hole. So once it's in all the way, I'm going to come on this side and make sure it is right where it needs to be, and then I can tighten those screws back. I was using my Mighty Hoop on this machine before I started this project, and that's why it was a little smaller. Mighty Hoops are also great for bags and hard to hoop projects. Okay, so we have the bag on, the free arm is going through the pocket like it's supposed to be. So now I have to load my design and tell it which needle to use and center it. So first, make sure the embroidery status is off, the lock is undone. I'm gonna go to File, select it, then, okay, I selected Elise. Now I hit move it to the machine. Okay, now go to the machine and go all the way to the end, and now I see Elise's name. Now I hit OK. Now it's going to show up on my screen here. So next, you want to make sure you have the right hoop selected. Now, there are no hoop selections for Mighty Hoops, Easy Frames, 8-in-1 device. For me, the simplest method is to just choose the largest hoop that comes with the machine. So I'm going to hit Design Set, and down here at the bottom with the picture of the hoop with the hat in it, I select that. And I always select hoop D. You can also select Other, and this gives you like an infinite field to work with, but I find D works best for me. So I hit OK. I don't need to change how the name is going. I want it to stitch the way it looks on the machine. If I had hooped the bag a different way or was doing another project and needed to stitch it upside down, you can use this F area to rotate your design however the F is. So that is something to keep in mind. All right, so I am done with this screen, so I'm gonna hit Escape. Now threads. So this is your little thread selection, and this is you telling the machine which needle to use for which step. My name only has one step, and I want to use my red color on needle 10, so I'm gonna hit 10 and hit OK. Now the last thing to do is to position your needle where you want it to be. So I have it on needle 1 right now, and when I pull that down, it is not even close to where my crosshairs are. So I am going to use these arrows to move my needle right where I want it. And then I'm just looking. It looks good. And you just slightly adjust it how you want. Now, the next thing I'm going to do, I'm done with everything really I need to do, except for tracing, but we can't trace until we lock the machine. So now we're going to turn that embroidery status on. Okay. Now I want to hit the trace button, but I know with my bag, it's going to move all kind of funky ways. So I'm pulling, oops, just knocked my can of air over. Okay. I'm going to pull this part of the bag this way, just so that when it traces, it's going to move it all kind of way. I'm going to put it back after. Okay, so here's my needle 1. I can hold that down to get a better idea right where it's going to go, but even if it doesn't, you just look. All right, and I'm going to hit the trace button. See what I mean with the bag moving all kind of ways? All right, I'm going to trace it one more time, make sure. Okay, it's going here and here. Yeah, that looks good. Might move it up a smidge. Okay, I think that's right where I want it. Okay, so once you trace it and you have it positioned where you want, the most important thing with tracing is that you know your needle is not going to hit this metal frame. Same with Mighty Hoops, same with the 8-in-1 device. You want to make sure your needle's not hitting that frame, because right now your machine thinks you have the 8x12 hoop selected, and so it knows it's not going to hit that hoop. But that's not what we actually have in, right? So once we have all our parameters set, it's easy, and we just hit start. It's automatically going to go to needle 10 and start stitching. and I just make sure the bag is underneath but not in the way. And that's it. So let's just watch it stitch. The bag is now done stitching, so I'm gonna go ahead and take it over to my craft table to clean it up. So now that it is done, it's super duper easy because we used tearaway stabilizer. I'm just gonna remove these clips, and I'm gonna remove the adapter. And because I like to reuse my hoop, and I'm gonna show you this little trick, but you see it's done stitching, and I'm just going to gently pull away my bag from my stabilizer. And what I'm trying to do is just like make a little hole. There we go. So I have just a little hole where the name was, and I'm gonna show you how I'm gonna reuse that. But that's it, like it's done. You can just pull off this tearaway. I normally don't worry about it so much on the insides of projects because nobody really sees it. But if you want to, it does pull away. I find using my tweezers makes it a little bit easier to get it out. Sometimes it can be a little sticky depending on the bag. Some bags it really likes to stick to, so then I don't worry so much about it. But do what makes you happy. Pull that out, and ta-da, you are done. They have some little marks here where I put my my little chalk marker and just spraying some water on that and wiping it will get that off. And there is a little jump stitch between the eyes. So the machine does cut jump stitches. You'll notice like there are no connecting threads between the letters. I've lost my scissors. They're in my hand. What do you see this? In my hand. Crazy, huh? Okay, so the machine does cut jump stitches. However, when it's like really, really short spaces, and this might even be the software, but there was a little jump stitch between the dot of my eye. And so she is done. She looks great. Elise is gonna love her new dancing bag. So her bag is done, but let me show you my little trick. So we've already hooped this piece of tearaway stabilizer. I have one more bag to stitch for another little girl at dancing school. Now, instead of taking this off and hooping a brand new piece of stabilizer, what I can do is patch it. So I'm gonna turn this over, and you see I have a piece right here that works. See, I could save this for another patch later, but I'm gonna do this. We're on the back side. Peel that off and lay it gently. Don't put too much pressure, just lay it gently. Now turn it over, and I kind of use my nails so I'm not getting my oils all over from my fingers, but you rub that in and patch it, and now this is ready to float another bag onto and stitch another name. So there's a little tip for you. So I hope you enjoyed today's quick tutorial on how to stitch a name on a backpack using your Ricoma EM1010. It's a very easy project when you have hoops that you can float onto. So whether you want to use the Durkee Easy Frames, the 8-in-1 device made by Ricoma, Mighty hoops are super easy, and you can still use the hoops that came with your machine and just hoop. What I do for those is I hoop the sticky stabilizer before I peel the paper, and then I score it with a pin and just kind of open up a hole of the stickiness, peel that away, and then float your bag on top of that. So you can do it with the hoops that came with your machine as well. It's just a little bit easier when you're working with those flat frames. But that's it for today. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments below. I also, if you are interested in getting a Ricoma embroidery machine for yourself, I have my referral link in the description below. During the month of November 2022 and the first few days of December, they are still running their sale. So if you're seeing this video during that time, click that referral link. You fill out, it brings you to a place where you fill out a form and put your info, and then someone from Ricoma will call you and tell you all about their machines, their pricing. They offer 0% financing, and they'll answer all of your questions. So just use that in getting a machine for yourself. So that's it for today. Thanks so much, guys. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and go stitch something pretty. All right, bye guys.